Hi, Ashley here with HeartHookHome.com, and today we are learning how to crochet the Tunisian waffle stitch. Those are the blue strands that we see here, how they kind of pull together at the top, similar to the Tunisian smock stitch, but this is even easier, I think. Let's learn how to make this stitch today. To make the Tunisian waffle stitch, we're going to start with an even number of chains. Here I have 8. As with most Tunisian crochet, we are going to start the first row as just a foundation row. We're going to go into the back loop of the second chain from the hook and just pull up a loop in each of these chains all the way to the end of the row. Now that we've got all of these loops on our hook, we're going to do our chain 1, and then our backward pass as yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way to the end. And this is a traditional backward pass as used in most or many Tunisian stitches. So here's our first completed row. Now we are ready for the actual first waffle stitch row. And all we're doing with this is a Tunisian simple stitch and a Tunisian slanted stitch and a Tunisian simple stitch and a Tunisian slanted stitch. So let's do this together. Tunisian simple is where we go into we always skip this first one here. We're going to go into the first stitch here, not the outside. We're going to pull up a loop just using that first front vertical bar. That's a Tunisian simple stitch. Now we're doing the Tunisian slanted stitch. So instead of inserting our hook from right to left like this, it's the same thing as a simple stitch, except we come in from the opposite angle, and it's kind of hard to do. There are some pointers that I find that help. First, when I'm doing my slanted stitch, I find that it helps if I kind of rotate it like this, and it also helps if I use my middle finger to push that loop to the forward and kind of pinch around it to make that loop more accessible. So I'm going to go in from the left to the right and pull up that loop. And now we're just going to alternate the Tunisian simple with the Tunisian slanted all the way across the row. When I get to the end here, we're going to pull up a loop in the outside V, just like we always do with Tunisian crochet. And that is your forward pass complete. So now we are ready to do our backward pass, which is the chain 1 and yarn over, pull through 2 like we always do. And now this is a 2-row repeat. So that means that the next row we're going to alternate. We're going to alternate the row we just did with this next row, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So instead of starting this row with the Tunisian simple stitch, we're going to start this row with a Tunisian slanted, and then a simple, and then a slanted, and then a simple. So you're just offsetting how you start these rows. Again, I'm going to kind of finagle my hook this way, coming at it from the wrong direction, which takes some getting used to, I'm not going to lie. So now we're going to do a simple in this one, and a slanted in this one, and a simple in this one, and a slanted in this one, and a simple in this one. And now that we are at the end, we're going to go through both sides of the outside V and do our backward pass as normal. That is all there is to the Tunisian waffle stitch. Isn't that easy? It's a very pretty stitch, a very fun stitch. It's, like I said, it's similar to the Tunisian smock stitch, but it is a little bit different. It's almost easier once you get the hang of it. I also feel like the bigger your piece gets, the easier it is to get your hook in the opposite direction from the left to the right. So just takes a little bit of practice. Now I'm going to show you how I fasten off with that stitch. So just alternate as you're working this, alternate this row with this row and this row and this row, back and forth and back and forth. When you are ready to fasten off, you're going to slip stitch across but maintain the stitches as you normally would. So this one, if I were to crochet a regular Tunisian waffle stitch row right here, I would do a Tunisian simple stitch first. So I'm just going to do a regular simple slip stitch like I normally would, and then this would have been a Tunisian slanted stitch, so I'm going to turn it and do a slip stitch just like I would have if I was just pulling up the loops. Simple and slanted. and simple and slanted. And then pull up a slip stitch using the outside two. And that's it. That's how you would fasten off the Tunisian waffle stitch. Isn't that fun and easy? I do have this beanie pattern that is coming out on hearthookhome.com that is super fun, super quick to work up. I love the color play on this. We are using Tunisian in the round to crochet this beanie, which means that there is no end pieces, there's no joining, there's no turning, there's no nothing. It's just a spiral worked all the way up. So look for this free pattern on hearthookhome.com to practice the Tunisian waffle stitch. Thanks for crocheting with me today, and I'll see you soon.